Welcome back to the Movie Wheel Marathon. I'm Andrew,
And I'm Mac.
and, we're almost done with our totally 80s marathon. I think we have,
Almost.
yeah, just about. We are
Like,
on Dirty Dancing, came out August 21st, 1987, directed by Emile Arno. And of course, starring Patrick Swayze as Johnny, Jennifer Grey as Frances or Cynthia Rhodes as Penny, Jerry Orbach as Dr. Jake House
house, house
something.
something.
It's cut off here on my
Mhm.
screen. Jane Brooker as Lisa, Max Cantor as Robbie, and that's pretty much it. Those are the main ones. So yeah, this was my first time ever seeing this movie. Ever seen?
I've caught it plenty of times on television or like snippets when other people are watching it, but I've never sat down and watched it all the way through like this. So this is also kind of my first time, even though I would say I'm
Oh,
kind of familiar with it too.
I was not familiar at all. I knew this was the movie with the pickup bit. That's because of
Mm-mm.
Crazy Stupid Love. I did not know that it's Ferris Bueller's sister who's in it. She's
Mm-mm.
been in three of our movies this marathon.
Yeah,
She's
she
this
was busy.
Yeah, she's big old '80s icon Jennifer Grey. Um, Real quick, I guess she's great in this. I think fun to see her range from what she is in Ferris Bueller to this. It was really cool.
That's true.
Um, yeah, I don't really know where I am on the movie, to be honest. It's I don't, well, because I didn't hate it, but
Okay.
I I don't know what I feel because okay, so real quick, I just
hmm
want it on the record for all those who don't listen. This movie was Mac's idea.
This
Um,
was not my
this was
idea.
this
You
was
put this
no,
on
no, I
here.
didn't.
I did not
No,
suggest
no, no, no.
this.
Yes, you did. I did not suggest this because I've never seen this. So
I
this
I was surprised you wanted to watch this. I
I
did not suggest
I
this.
don't remember this. I did not push this. I thought this was your suggestion because it was like an '80s icon movie that has to be seen or something. This was not something I pushed. This is
That is
the
not what I
I'm
thought happened. I swear I
I
didn't
am
do this.
95% sure that you suggested Dirty Dancing because it's like an '80s movie. This was not one that I was like, oh yeah, we gotta watch Dirty Dancing. So all that to say, this was Mac's idea, and this is the most erotically charged movie that we have watched for this marathon. So there honestly,
Yeah,
Mac,
it's out there.
there's a lot I don't know how to talk about right now. Um
Yeah.
because by the end of
I
this
thought
movie,
you
I was
I could
pregnant,
have
my dog was
sworn
pregnant, the neighbor across the hall was pregnant, like every like cuz like my
that's
god.
probably not the funniest joke for this movie, honestly.
So yeah, there's something. First of all, as well, real quick, I want to get this out of the way. I had to check, and at least according to Francis is 17, and Johnny is 25. So
hmm
don't love that. Don't love
Oh
that.
yeah. It's
Um,
it's
for the sake of
yeah.
conversation, Johnny is 18, and
hmm
so is Francis. Um, so yeah, there's some things I don't know how to talk because like this isn't a family show, but like at the same time, I don't
No, I don't
I
um
don't it's
if I'd
just
let my kid
oh
watch
no 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 I'm not talking about the movie. The movie's not. I mean our show.
No. Oh,
Like
you okay.
it's not
Oh,
like
sure,
we're
sure.
not watching our P's and Q's. I say the fuck words all the time, but
Mm,
like I'm not about
mm.
to share with you what I thought of the most erotic cinematography in this movie. Like
That's
that's not
too private. We're not going to share that on the
Oh, do
internet.
you want to share it? Is that something you want to
I'm
start
just
talking about?
I'm just messing
Uh
with
huh.
you.
Sure, sure.
I
Um,
mean, the title of the film is
I
Dirty Dancing.
know.
I don't know
I,
what you thought you were
I,
getting yourself into.
I wasn't. I wasn't exactly surprised. I was just shocked by how. Uh, I guess I don't even know what the right word is. Like that, the dance montage. Real quick, I'm gonna be real. The
Mhm.
dance montage is off. I'm a sucker for montage.
Mhm.
So when Francis is learning, that's what I wanted from Top Gun, but like flight school, and didn't get. But like to see them not just doing the montage, but
Right.
whether or not that's real
Improving.
dancing advice, like him talking about dancing zones and to don't do the spaghetti arms. Like I really enjoyed that. It felt real, and it's kind of ridiculous story, not in a bad way. Um, so I like that part. But then like where they keep doing that thing where she has to put his arm around his neck, and he is so
Mhm.
hot. I haven't seen a lot of
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze movies, and I've never seen this before, but like my
Mhm.
God, is he attractive? Um,
It feels indecent
it
sometimes, just
does.
him on the screen.
I
Yeah.
know. I had to cover my dog's eyes, but then like, and with the way they're dancing when they get up to the love shack, it was like I'm surprised there's only one character. Is this really only a one-time issue
Mhm.
for you guys? Um,
Mhm.
all that to say, there's an element to this movie that I was not fully anticipating. I guess for some stupid reason, maybe that's on me. Um, but yeah. So I guess to try to start from the beginning. Uh, I don't even know. So I did. I'm just talking. Tell me. You say something. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, my experience, like having seen bits of it before, I like was familiar with the genre, we'll say. The sort of point with the dancers and how
Mm-hmm.
everything is kind of comfortable. The Yeah. I completely missed or potentially just never saw enough of the scenes in sequence to realize that there's also kind of like a class critique happening. Like that's the
Oh
actual tension of
yeah,
the film.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Like to me, like my understanding of the film was just like, you know, coming of age, girl goes away, has a summer fling, becomes a
Footloose
woman,
Part
whatever you
Two
want to
kind of
call it.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And dancing being sort of like, a awakening for all that. Um, but there's actually kind of a really interesting angle that I do think they managed to pull off in a movie titled Dirty Dancing
Mm-hmm.
about just being good to the people around you and the kind of ways that you'll treat people, like just because of the social class or like economic class they find themselves in. I mean, the whole thing takes place at a camp where people go and pay. That's essentially like a resort, right? It's not a super fancy resort, but it's a resort. And these people have enough time for a 3-week vacation. So, or is it a 3-month
I
vacation?
don't even know. I couldn't tell if
It's
it
a
was the whole
long
summer or if it's a
time.
handful of weeks.
It's a long time. And they do mention that the father character, he works hard
Mm-hmm.
for his job. This is the first time in 3 years, I think they said, or some amount of years. We get my numbers mixed up. This is, the first time they've taken a break or a vacation in a
Right.
long time. So it's not like this is a ultra wealthy location. But there is an element of we are the paying customer. We have made something of our lives. We are better than other people in this group of people. And then the staff of the resort have to kind of take a lot of, just treatment, really poor treatment from these guys sometimes, including like kind of being taken advantage of, in certain regards. So there's a lot of really interesting kind of things at play here that I do think the movie ends up because I'll be real, I kind of felt like Baby was using Johnny for a bit there, just because her interest was so obvious and his was kind of like slow, and hesitant. But then they manage to actually make her like she doesn't fail to stand by him really at any point. And that alone, I think, kind of and like she even like I feel like the conversation with her and her dad at the end of the film is pretty real too, where she's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I've disappointed you, but I feel like you've lied to me because
Yeah,
I've just
you've
done what you've
disappointed me
told
too.
me to
Yeah.
do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're upset with me. So like she's upset about the fact that her relationship with her dad is hurting, But she's also upset that the reason it's hurting is because he's not being true to what he taught her,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like she's calling him to account at the same time that she's expressing the loss of the relationship that they're having. And I really like that he's kind of a redeemed character by the end of it. He sees things clearly at the very end of the film because of the conversations and the way that he's able to help. And I mean, like, there's somebody in danger, and as a doctor, he does not
Yeah.
hesitate. He checks in on her when he doesn't have to. Like, there's a lot of good nuance
Mm-hmm.
in the characters of this film that I fully did not expect going into this
Yeah.
watch.
I liked the dad character a lot, 98%, and I like the mom in the end as well. I like how
Mm-hmm.
they are allowing her to grow up in the end. It's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not super super explicit. They don't have the Disney Channel original movie of like, well, you're not my little girl anymore. Like the sister teases her with that specifically, but there's not that exact
Mm-hmm.
conversation between Francis and um I do really like that she can go to him when she needs him and he's cool about it. We don't get a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that, I think, in the real world. We definitely don't get a lot of that in movies, and I think it's just nice to see it. And it's like
It
it
is.
and it goes too far, in the movie, and he is put off by that. He's hurt, he's upset, but he also like you said in the moment, he's very reliable. I had
Mm-hmm.
to laugh at one point though, not at him, but he's kind of related to it. Um, I you know me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very progressive little soy boy. Fully pro-choice. Hell yeah. And no hate to Penny, even if she was sleeping around, and
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't. I don't have an issue with that.
Right.
But when we get to the point of the movie where the plot on paper is Frances has to learn the mambo so that her new friend can get an abortion this Thursday. Just
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. It's so absurd. It's so funny to say. It's so funny
Yeah.
because that's what kicks off the. That's why she learns to
Yeah.
dance. It is so fucking funny. It's not in the movie, like it's not, and they don't treat it as. And I'm not again. I'm
No.
not even laughing at Penny. It's just
Mm-hmm.
on paper. That's the plot of the movie. It's
See,
crazy.
I mean, I agree. On paper, that feels kind of crazy, but I think if we take it sort of back to its time, because like this is an 80s movie, but it takes
In the
place
'60s,
in the
it's
60s.
'62. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
So what's actually happening is we get introduced to this character who is establishing herself as sort of like an educated progressive character. Her sister is sitting in the car doing her hair and makeup. She's got the
Mm-hmm.
window open and she's reading a book, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a very clear
I
message about who she is. And then like, he's like, what are you going to college for? English? Which is the sort of I
no.
say this as an English major. I say this as an English major. English was what education degrees are today,
mm,
which means that women would go into them with genuine interest in that field, but kind of planning on getting married before that they would really have a career with that field. It's kind of the same today. I mean, education usually still, like, actually, a lot of women who get their education degree still use it, but their main source of income is get married. If we're being real, because teachers don't get a lot of money. So so that conversation where the
Neil.
correct, we'll say, match, Neil, the son of the guy who runs the resort or whatever, he's like, so you're going to get a degree in English, expecting her to be just someone who's going through the motions, doing what she's expected. And she's like, actually, no, I'm going to get this economic degree where I'm specifically targeting nations that need support so I can go and help them in the Peace Corps, right? So like they're introducing this character that's like, I care about people and I want to be an active and helpful part in making the world better.
Hell yeah.
And then they're like, here's a real world problem.
Yep.
How are you going to handle it?
And I
And
love what she does. I
I
think it's
like
it's a
that. Hmm.
great character motivation. I think it's like I said, I don't hate it, and I don't mean to tease it because it's really cool that that character's doing that. And I think for me, it's because of my perspective and time I'm in. It doesn't even matter at first in my mind that it's still illegal. Then it's just
Mm,
to help her keep her job Like, you're willing to do that? Like, fine. Like, cool. Like, I do like that they illustrate what it is she wants to do. That's part of her
Hmm.
confronting her dad, and we have an example of adult people. Um, so I think it all works. It's just for a minute there, it was just crazy to say out loud.
I mean, I feel like it gets like kind of complicated fast because all she really does is, sneak into one of their parties and not really even sneak. She kind of gets invited and she just appreciates, I guess, the culture of it. I don't really know how else to say it.
Because
And
it's
then she realizes someone's in trouble and she immediately does what she can to help them,
I
which then of course results in her becoming a dancer and falling in love. So
well,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a kind of a crazy start to this movie. But I ultimately feel like it fits, especially when you consider that the movie again by the end is going back into that class conversation, that class critique
Yeah,
about how, Johnny is being treated and how their relationship is being treated
right.
because no one can take the staff seriously as people.
This is the rough draft for the first half of Titanic, because even though
Mm,
Frances is not being explicit as Rose is, I think she's drawn to, as you said, the culture for the same reason Rose is. It's a level of freedom. It's
mhm,
authenticity. There is not this
mhm,
expectation to be anyone other than yourself, and I think that's illustrated in how she looks at the dancing. Because yeah, she is enamored by Mr. Swayze. No hate, totally get it.
mhm,
Like, right on, Genie. But like, it's
fair.
also the dance. She is
Mhm,
intrigued by their dancing, and they're just being themselves. Like, and
mhm,
they're getting, like, coming back into what you said about the part of this movie that is exploring the class thing, but also the freedom versus having to hide who you are, because the manager guy doesn't want them to do that. They're supposed to be selling shit. Can't dance to their heart's content. Um, so I like that
I
that's
also feel
included.
like his strategy is bad
I
because he
know,
tells them to stop
I
dancing
know.
when like they were showing off and
Some
everyone was into it,
Neil was
man.
like,
Like
"That's not gonna make people want to get mambo lessons." Like, are you shitting me? Like,
I know.
I saw what you were doing
Are you
earlier in the
kidding?
gazebo. That was fucking pathetic. Like, they do really well with illustrating that this place kind of sucks. Um,
Hmm.
and I like it works for sure. This is like an old people like vacation thing. But the guy,
I mean, that's even mentioned at the
I
end.
know,
The
it's like,
guy was like,
kids
I can
don't want to
tell that
go
I'm
do
losing it.
dance lessons. Like, are you're just realizing this now? Like, dude, even for the '60s, come on. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it took a minute, but I did end up kind of getting sucked into. There is I think what we said for a different movie. I don't remember which one. There's a level of substance. There's a certain nutritional value to this movie that you don't necessarily
Hmm.
expect. But it is
Hmm.
present and it's very intentional, and I think for the
Hmm.
most part it works. Um, there was one thing I wanted to make. I made a mental note of because I wanted to bring it up. 'Cause I like the dance montage. I like that the dances are long cuts often. Like, they clearly learned to do that. You gotta give them credit for that.
I hold on. I saw something in the credits and I meant to look it up. I think the guy who choreographed this movie became a director and maybe directed High School Musical. I'm checking this. Hold on. Kenny Ortega.
Well, while you look that up, I wanted to point out one of the ending kind of moments for the dance training montage starts at Johnny's, like, sitting on the ground, him watching Penny teach Francis, and it comes up to their legs. And what's really cool is you can't tell who is who because she's finally nailed it. And I thought that was best shots of the whole, 'cause it illustrates the growth and
That's
progress.
really good to hear. Because I could tell. I don't, I really hesitate to say like I'm a dancer or I have danced because I barely have, but I am familiar enough with the dancing world to know what a comfortable, natural, or well practiced dancer looks like. And I think, what's her name? Jennifer. the actress, she
Mm,
does a good job, especially in distinguishing between the I can't dance phase and the I can dance phase.
mm,
But she's never as good as the actual dancers
fair enough.
on the scene with her. And I don't know that she really has to be. She just has to be good enough, right? To pull off the things that they need her to pull off and then to have her moment at the end of the film. So like I don't necessarily think that's a weakness of the movie, but I definitely at certain points I was like, I wonder how this looks to someone who isn't as familiar with dancing
Mm.
because I can tell that she's still new to
Wow,
this.
I definitely couldn't tell that. I was just going off
Okay.
of
All right.
the movie language. Like every time they filmed
Mm-hmm.
down by their feet, Francis was on the left and Johnny was on the right. So looking at them dancing, you assume that it's Penny on the right and Francis on the left. And then as it goes up,
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing the same moves, you're like, oh, I actually don't know who is who. Or like you realize that I thought after, and I just thought that was a really shoot that because you find out Francis is on the right
Mm-hmm.
and Penny's on the left. Like it was just I thought it was cool the way they did that. I don't
It is
have any
cool. I mean,
background
it's
in
very
dance,
intentional.
so I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah.
Just me.
No, I was right. Apparently, okay, so I didn't realize how cool this guy was. But Kenny Ortega is the guy who directed a lot of stuff for Disney Channel. So High School Musical films, Newsies, Hocus Pocus, The Descendants. Like he directed those. But he also is a choreographer for this film, as well as Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Haha.
and a few other major 80s films. So like St. Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink, those sorts of things. He has done work on video, like music videos and concert tours for Kiss and Madonna and Miley Cyrus and Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I didn't realize how cool this guy
This
was.
guy's got a cool
Okay.
resume.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I caught his name in the credits, and he does a really good job with group dance scenes. I think is kind of what I was noticing. Every time there was, like you were mentioning, the wider shots where you just kind of like watch people dancing, and there was a whole group of them. They always looked like you always knew where to look because our main characters were doing something slightly different or flashier, or the light was on them. But then if you were to like look about the room, everyone else also looks like they're having a good time and they know what they're doing. There are no extras just staying the side. It doesn't look like it's been overly choreographed or everyone's doing the exact same move at the exact same time. It's like it kind of feels like a natural like dance, but it still looks good rather than just like a mosh pit sort of situation. I don't know. I was appreciating that. Little details are good. Mhm.
Um, did we discuss um trying to think of specifics, I suppose.
I didn't realize how much of their relationship was driven by her in my previous watchings either. And
Yeah,
I know I
she
kind of mentioned that
definitely
like
because it's a job thing. They can't fraternize
mhm.
and for the
But I
most
mean,
part,
even when they're in a relationship, he's kind of like he's uncertain about it. He's not sure where her like interest really like where the limits of her interest are until she stands up for him and puts her own reputation on the line and her relationship with her family on the line for
weirdly
him.
surprising because he's like this guy is he's a stud buff in an 80s movie and he's coming from a very genuine sensitive
He's been
uh
taken advantage of, like not like
artistic
full on assaulted, but
yeah
like
like
he's been treated like an
yeah
object.
yes it's
And that's
very
usually the woman's role
yes
in this kind of story.
yeah
It's real, it's done well, I feel like, because like, he is obviously a man.
mm,
But there's an element of fragility to him because of
yes
what the role he plays in society.
and
And
yeah
rather than taking advantage of that, she kind of like bolsters him
uh-huh
and likes that about him in a way. So
uh-huh
like it could feel like she's using him. I feel I was kind of like concerned about that at the start of their relationship, honestly, because I wasn't sure. Like for him, is this just another thing where he feels like he's expected to,
mm-hmm,
help take care of the guests or what? But instead, she's like she does everything she should to protect him when she can,
mm-hmm.
and at the end, his line, "Nobody puts baby in a corner." feels like he's kind of returning that to her, where he's
Mm.
like, you have
Oh.
now been put in a spot where you feel trapped and it's not fair to you because of what your social expectations are. So I'm going to go ahead and break those for you a little bit.
Hmm.
So like No One Puts Baby in a Corner for me has always been framed as like a hero saving damsel moment, but it feels way more reciprocal when you
Hmm.
actually watch it in context with the rest of the film,
Hmm.
because he's interested in him, she goes after him, she pursues him, and then when he gets in trouble, she's like, "No, hold on, this
Yeah.
is
I
not
do like that
okay
she
with me."
wastes almost no time doing that. There's not like a day of
Mhm.
contemplation. She says
Mhm.
it there at the breakfast table. Well done.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's not something I expected, and I felt like the movie pulled it off. And when it could have been hard to do both those things with them, with the kind of flipping of the gender expectations
Yeah.
in an '80s
And
film.
I was waiting for the whole like, yeah, I went into dance instead of football or the military,
Mm,
or my dad wanted me to be a whatever, but no, I wanted to dance. Like that's never
mm,
questioned, and it's very like even yeah, he does it in a very sexy way, but he's also like a master of it. And he wasn't
mhm,
coerced into it. He tells the little story about when he learned like he just
mhm,
it's something he's passionate about and he wants to explore it, and that's never portrayed as something girly or silly or less than.
mhm.
And there are Disney Channel movies that we grew up with that were like challenging the idea. This isn't even challenging, it's just
No,
it
accepting
is
it
it
as
just
his
is.
job.
Yeah, like
Mhm,
we grew up with like uh Eddie's Big Cook Off or whatever it's called, Jump In, and there's
mhm.
another one I always forget. But it's like, yeah, jump rope, pff, that's pathetic. Ugh, men don't cook.
That's
Ugh,
for
like
girls.
yeah, there's it's High School Musical. You said it. That's the other one. Men don't sing.
Uh-huh.
Ugh, like
Mhm,
and it's challenging the idea. This is just yeah, he dances. He's I will say
mhm.
though, I will say off the top of my head now, other than the nameless characters, well, I guess there's only one. Okay, I was gonna say there's only one dude that dances, but Penny's really the only
Mm,
woman that dances technically. I guess it is kind of even.
mhm,
I had forgotten.
mhm,
So yeah, that I guess that's fair.
mhm.
Yeah. See, like, the more I talk about it, I'm a little annoyed. There's a lot of really good stuff in this movie. I was not.
Yeah, it it's a lot of eye candy
There
in this one,
is.
but it ends up being I'm sitting here trying right now mentally. What I'm trying to figure out is whether or not this is a like sexy dance film that also happens to have really good plot,
Mhm.
or if this is a movie with really good plot that happens to have really sexy dance scenes, or if somehow they are integral to each other.
Yeah.
Like if this movie be made without like the sexual appeal element? And I'm not sure yet. I feel like I would need a little bit more time to think about it. But
There's
it kind of feels like the sexualization element is a part of the fragility of his character. Like he like and I don't and it's a part of her appeal to that world. And I feel like there's an honesty element to it as well,
yeah.
that the cleaned up rich people world likes to kind of pretend doesn't happen, even though her sister is actively in negotiations over going
Right.
all the way. So there's a lot of really interesting things at play, and I do feel like ultimately like sex is at the center of the film, so it's only kind of appropriate that it would have some scenes like this. I don't know. I don't know.
I kind of looked at it like at first it's like an idea that's kind of evolved hours ago, and I think it's an interesting. It's like the end of the coming of age story into,
Mhm,
shall we say, the age era, quote, the age, because it's approaching it very realistic. Well, I don't. I would say it's approaching it very because especially times and the family she comes from. There's an approach to young adults engaging in sex, and I have to be careful here because full blown adults now. Um, where it's like it's a bad thing, it's a taboo, it's frowned upon, and
mhm,
for it to be kind of portrayed as like it's just a part of that part of your life. It's kind of a part of the end of the coming of age kind of
Hmm.
uh path, if you will. Kind of like that. It's normal and not a bad.
Hmm.
In the movie though. Well, first I'll finish this. So I think it's interesting because it's in tandem with coming into change that, um, growing into herself and what her values are at the same time when she challenges her dad and what she embraces, what she's gonna do, who she's gonna be, she's gonna help,
Hmm.
and what she is and isn't bothered by, while also becoming comfortable physically. Like I think there's some, I think there's something there. However,
No, I agree. I've actually I feel like there's an element of it's all kind of connected, right? And like sometimes it takes us pursuing our how do I want to say this? Kind of like the things that are sweet in life, the things that we want, um, that don't feel as significant or as heavy. In order for us to be able to define the more important things and the things we're actually willing to sort of like fight for and stand for, like this could have been just a cheap little like fling for her that didn't really mean anything. But because she's really invested in the people she's around and because she does pursue the thing that she wants, even though she, is going against expectations and rules and all that, she's able to then also stand up to the bigger picture. It's not just, but I love him, Dad. It's
yeah,
you're not
exactly.
treating him fair,
Uh-huh.
Dad. And I feel like it I don't know. I feel like the romance aspect is a part of her ability to grow up, like you were saying. So, yeah.
My only thing with it is I think the movie gets a little confused about what it's trying to say because
Mhm.
that dance party when she's carrying the watermelon, that seems to be saying kind of right away, be comfortable. Be casual if you want.
Mhm.
Whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Attack that on. Not a huge deal. Then there's the penny thing.
Mhm.
But the characters are main like good guys right now are coming together to try to help her. Very progressive.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
and
I mean, even our official doctor character doesn't really say anything about it.
exactly. He's definitely a man of another time, but he's trying,
Mhm.
I would say. And but the
Mhm.
movie as well, like the movie says to us at one point, until corrected, that Penny sleeps around. And the movie's not even saying that as a bad thing. Like maybe you can take it as such, but it's not saying
Mhm.
that. It's corrected, fine. But it's kind of just like, yeah, they're kids or young adults. They're kind of doing whatever. They're here in the summer. Life happens. But then Frances has her little conversation with her sister about do it with someone who you kind of love. And I understand that where she's coming from is she's realizing and admitting she has deeper feelings for. I get it. But the movie is saying you should only be doing this kind of stuff with someone you meet. That's, I don't know. I kind of feel like we're kind of getting mixed messages here because that's not clearly. I don't
I don't
know.
know, because there are real, especially if you consider the time period, there are real risks for women
Sure.
that to approach this subject with a cavalier, just do whatever you want kind of approach in that setting for women is not fair to women. And so, what I think really what I mean, there is a kind of moment where she's realizing that she loves Strawny. There's absolutely like a self-reflective moment there for our baby. But I think she's also like the person that her sister is talking about going all the way with is the person who got somebody else pregnant and
That's
refused to help her with the situation.
that was
So
my
she's
follow up.
trying really hard to warn her sister away from this guy without like spilling secrets, essentially.
Right, but see, that's the thing is if the movie is wanting to convey, or Francis is wanting to convey, that sentiment of you should only be engaging in physical combing if you have heightened maybe romantic feelings with them. Does not ever say that to Johnny, even though she knows what he's been through. Even when she finds out what his reasons are.
Fair.
And she
Fair.
knows what this other motherfucker has been up to. If you're trying to help your sister, now is not the time to be coy, knowing what could happen. You need to be a little more blunt about it. You need to start spreading rumors. Like, oh, I heard he did this. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Just be blunt about it. Because, like, there's almost. It's kind of glossed over because there's a lot going on for Francis. We've got Johnny being framed by this shitty older woman, and parties coming up, and it's falling for him, and blah 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 blah. But there's very easily this like subplot that could be set up as to where they save her sister from sleeping with a guy they know is a piece of shit, and there is no effort put into that at all. That happened very fortunately to be
Yeah.
taken care of itself,
Mm-hmm.
but they never are like, yeah, she's gonna go
I thought
sleep
about
with
that
this
too.
asshole. Are we gonna worry about that? Are we gonna try to talk to her? Are we gonna try to affect that at all? No? Alright, cool. Just checking. Just checking.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I thought about that too. It feels like they ultimately end up valuing sort of like their secrets over arguably her safety.
yeah, like just no
And
regard for her
I don't
safety at
love
all.
that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
kinda rough. Um
Yeah.
I the balls on that guy too. I can't remember his name. But to say to the doc, like, yeah, hey, thanks for helping with that. You're super cool. Right after getting the letter of recommendation, like, dude, oh my
Yeah.
god,
The immediate snatchback
right
too.
on, right on.
Gratifying.
Yes, indeed.
Although honestly, striking a man in that kind of instance seems
Yes,
appropriate.
that was a very diplomatic way of putting that. Yeah, he should have been run over with a car. Um, let's see.
Yeah.
I We're way too early to like end. I don't really have a whole lot else to get into.
Yeah.
Like
The
I get
music is great.
music is
Love the music.
music is fine. It's
You
very
find it? Oh,
it's
the music
it's
is
so
good.
it's so old. Um,
Yeah.
like yeah, okay, it's fun. It is fun. Uh, but for me, there's a certain extent it's been so memed. The I I'm alive.
But
Like
like
that's been a
if you
meme
try
since
to
before we were children. Like it's just
yeah, but like divorce it from that and think about how the lyrics actually
I
fit
know the
their
lyrics are
story, and it
perfectly lined up.
actually it works really well.
They
It's just
all
unfortunate
do.
that it became so iconic that it ends up hurting itself, you know?
Yeah, I know. Well,
Like
I was
it
gonna
hurts
say
from
like
its own success.
which I got into it enough that by the time they did the lift, I was like, yeah, like it was exciting and I was feeling it. It was very fun. However, I've also
Mm-hmm.
seen how that dance he does when he jumps off the stage lines up perfectly to Muppets theme song, and I can't unsee it. And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it lines up better than the music they used. It's so fucking funny. Um, I like
Yeah.
that he does his little speech when he gets up there because when he comes back, I could not help but feel back. Like, didn't even leave on bad
Mm-hmm.
terms with Francis. You guys had your conversation, everything was fine. Then I was like, did the dad really call him? Even if he did, there's no way he got back in time. But him just deciding, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna fight back. It's like, okay, sure. Really
Mm-hmm.
confident they're not gonna kick you out. Head on. Dang.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be sort of like a moment where, you know, because Jeannie, where did that come from?
Ferris Bueller's
Baby
stuff.
kept, they probably. um, so yeah, she convinces him that he can do more than just take what's given to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like actually in this moment I mean he's definitely doing it like for himself, but he's also kind of doing it for her too. Like there's this moment where he's like, if I go back and we dance, we're doing it for ourselves, not
Mm-hmm.
because I'm getting paid to do it, not because we're trying to figure out a situation, not because we're trying to convince anybody that what we have is like worth it. We're just dancing to show that like this is what we are together,
Right.
right? And I feel like that's a perfect moment for them to publicly sort of show everyone that what they are doing is worthwhile. And that's why the mom lets her do,
Yeah.
like, stops the dad and lets her do it. It's why she says she gets that from me because she wants to be a part of it.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's why the club is like kind of saved from the back end, because he realizes how popular everyone likes this kind of dancing is. Even the older folks enjoy it. So he's like, I'm gonna restyle my resort so that now we feature this kind of dancing, you know? So like there's it's about the revolution of the moment. He has to come back for the narrative to prove its final point, I feel like, for both the character arcs that the two characters are going through, and also sort of like the social point they're trying to make about people working together and being together and caring for each other.
And it is fun. I do.
Mhm.
I get very swept up.
I I'll be honest, I had kind of a negative opinion of this movie going into watching it, and I think that has changed. Like,
I am reluctant to say the same. Um,
mhm,
I I guess I had, yeah, a certain amount of stigma. I'm not a prude. No hate to prude,
mhm,
but like I just didn't think. I thought this was just gonna be a dumb love story. I didn't think there was gonna be the kind of
mhm,
substance that.
mhm,
I also when I finished the movie, I was like, I'll give it a whale, but I don't think I would
mhm.
recommend. I think I would. Like,
Wow.
I would recommend it over Top Gun. No substance. Top Gun. Top Gun is more eye candy than this movie because it's all planes doing cool plane shit until it isn't. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't know. There are
Yeah.
things. There are some me things this movie really hits that I enjoy because I said, montage. I like not just that it's a montage. There's effort on the character's part to teach her something.
Mhm,
There's
mhm,
work being put into it, which is good to see. There's really cool camaraderie between some of the characters, how they kind of all together and stick together, kind of stuff. I think if
mhm,
I wanted to nitpick, add more, I guess maybe more of Penny. I guess just more character moments with her. We see like only
mhm,
two parts where she's helping Francis learn, and I understand she's not part of the love story be there, but you wanted to add or around 3 minutes of screen time with her, and her telling Francis more about where to put the feet. I think that leads into Anne has to lead thing, which I understand
mhm.
to an extent. There's fun in that because it's dancing. But if
But
I were
there
Francis,
is a
I
very
want to
real
hear.
element to leading and dancing
Yes, which
too.
I get, but I think I'd want to know from Penny. If I'm gonna be Penny, I want to hear more Penny. Like it's a little. It's just a nitpick. It doesn't hurt the movie
Mhm,
at all,
mhm.
but I think it could impact it a little.
I'm afraid my nitpick would be extremely controversial.
Oh, do
I think I'd cast somebody else as the lead.
over Patrick Swayze.
No.
Oh, over what's her name? Is it
Yeah,
Jennifer?
Jennifer
Jennifer Grey. You
Grey,
don't like Jennifer
maybe?
Grey?
Yeah. I think she does an okay job. There are just a couple of moments where I'm not sure I understand what she's emoting, and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to. I don't know. And like maybe this is just me not getting something. Like potentially like her performance is just not communicating with me, and it does communicate with other people. Um but I don't know. I just some of her reactions or like expressions felt off to me, and I don't know if I could really say more than that. It's a small thing. The movie still is excellent. She performs well in pretty much everything she's asked to
But
do. I
you
just,
would fully do a recast instead of just another take?
well, I don't know, maybe another take would have been the move. I just, I don't know. She does a really good job learning the dances, but she's not a natural dancer. which if that's what they want to do, that's fine. I don't really have like a concrete objective issue with that. It's just that that plus a number of expressions and things that just feel off. That and she's constantly yelling. I don't really know that all of our scenes need to have all the yelling. I don't know. Maybe it's a direction issue more than an acting issue. But there was just something off about the performance, and I felt like someone. I don't even have somebody else in mind. I'll be honest. This is why this is controversial. All I can tell you is that there were a couple times that I didn't like the expressions she made, and maybe that's a directing issue more than it is an acting issue, but it is easier to say that actor didn't express what I was thinking the scene would need, um, than it is to say that the director didn't get the right take or something. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
didn't catch that, but caring about
And
that.
like I said, this might be a personal thing. Like, I don't
Well,
necessarily think that she did an objectively bad job with the role. I
sure.
just don't feel like I understand what's going on in
Yeah,
scenes where I think I'm supposed to understand what's going on inside her head.
fair enough. I will push back a little bit on. I think it's better that she's not a natural. Because if at the end of the
You'd like
movie
that?
she danced just like Penny, that would be fully unbelievable, completely
Agreed.
unrealistic.
And I like that dance stays his thing. It's not something
Yeah,
she like, kind of steals from him or shares all that much with him. He is the dancer, and he even like that last scene is focused on him doing the dancing, and she's a part of it, right? Like, it's cool. It's cool.
I can understand though as a dancer, want professionalism or professional
As
approach.
someone who is familiar with dancing, I would
Uh,
not say that I am a dancer. I haven't
fine,
danced, and it would be embarrassing to watch me dance.
fine. And do you have anything else to add? Really, I mean, we talked a great deal about the good stuff of this. Bad
Hmm.
stuff, if you know at all, is I don't know. I don't. It's an '80s movie, so like it's not
Hmm.
perfect. There's some campy acting. There's male bravado here and there.
Hmm.
As we said, I think it's balanced by you put very well the fragility, the authenticity, the artisanness of his approach to dancing,
Hmm.
the objectification on his side of it, a great class commentary. Like there's a lot of good stuff. Um, like the
The
character,
costumes do a good job too, like just with the colors that they coat everybody in.
how tight they
The
are.
big blue sweater she wears all the time.
It's cool. Weirdly, I think I've enjoyed this one more than I was expecting, and third or
Yeah.
fourth favorite of this marathon.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, you said it's better than Top Gun,
it's
so.
I think I enjoyed watching this more than Top Gun, and I think I enjoyed watching this Dawn just because Red Dawn is
Mm,
heavy. Can't really
it's
compare
heavy.
them as movies. They are so different, kind of plot
Hmm.
structure different. But they're both in these movies, and I enjoy them way more in this one.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's kind of hard to beat E.T. and the Goonies and Ferris Bueller. Let's be honest, you know.
Yeah, E.T. is probably still at my top spot, and Ferris Bueller might be second, honestly. I love that film.
They, in a weird way, it's just a Ferris wheel of those three for me because E.T. it's
Mhm.
so good. Ferris Bueller is wonderful and I love it so much, but Goonies is an classic and I've so
Mhm.
hard hard to pick. But what do we have left? We're only 10 minutes from time, really. I think we were able to
Oh,
stretch it out. We have left
yeah.
Big and Heather's.
That's, I think, it. I'm not sure if it's in that order or not, though. I can check. Yep, Big Than Heathers.
Awesome. I am super excited to talk about Big, except for one scene in particular. Otherwise, it's gonna be a great time.
Okay. I don't think I've
Heather's.
watched this one, so that'll be totally new.
Oh, okay. Big is great, except for one
Okay.
very specific part.
You've
Um,
warned me. I'll
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah. Heather's, I don't remember. It's Winona Ryder though. So
Um, yeah. Heather's is interesting.
Heather's is so that'll be fun. And then I don't think we fully decided what it is we're doing after '80s marathon, but as a matter, we have 2 weeks to figure it out. So you'll just have
Yeah.
to find out, future
Mm-hmm.
listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
The
know, man.
many, many crowds of
No, I
fans
know.
that are
I'm getting
flocking to our
too
videos.
comfortable with the idea that we'll never have. Like, just we can just say whatever we want. Who gives a
I mean,
shit?
we yap for an hour about
I
some
know.
movie in a completely unstructured way,
I
in
know.
having conversations that are only interesting to
I
us. It's
know.
not conducive to building an audience.
Yeah. No, it's not. No one's ever. That's fine. Okay. Anything to add about Dirty Dancing? Did you give it a whale?
No, I give it a whale, and I would recommend it at this point. It caught me by surprise on the rewatch, and while I don't know how it fits in with the movies that I generally like, phew, of
Bless you.
course. Phew,
Again.
thank you. So while I don't know how it fits in with like my normal like categories of movies that I enjoy, like I would 100% put this back on and watch it again if I felt like I wanted to, you know? It's good.
Depending on if there are children present.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely a minimum age.
Well, that's us. So cool. Bye.
Bye.